Hey everybody, welcome. This is long overdue, isn't it?
Yes, we are very, very, very sorry.
Yes.
It took so long to do this episode. But we are finally in a very beautiful space, spread out, set up. Everything is out. So,
Yep. So without further ado, you are finally going to get a tour of our KZ Escape Hatch
yes,
Chaser Boy.
yes.
And I'm gonna run the exterior and then Mel's gonna run the interior. So this is not just a tour for everybody who loves the channel and all that, but also an informational tour if somebody is interested in getting a KZ hatch.
Yes.
So I guess it's about time to get started.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is give you kind of a 360 walk around just to take a quick look at the exterior of the rig. Now this is a 2021 and it's about 20 feet livable space and 22 from the tongue to the bumper. Now this one, Mel took a lot of time to research. And this was perfect for first-time haulers. The max load with full water and full, personal property, if you will, is 4,000 pounds. So it was good with our Telluride when we were initially pulling with that, and then soon after realized, nope, not gonna work with the Telluride. Too much wear and tear. It was too low on the ground. So we upgraded to our truck. All right, so we're gonna start here on the front. Now, the original one came with a manually crank tongue jack, but as you can see here, and we'll put links for all of this stuff that we got in the description below, but as you can see here, this one is a 5,000 pound electric jack. So it was very simple. These 3 bolts here popped off and took the old one out and we popped the new one on. So I have this filmed and more than likely that will come after this one. So I'll put a link somewhere up here or up there. I can't remember which way I have to pull. It does have a light. Light turns on, turns off. I'm not gonna hit the button right now because we're leveled perfectly. So it just goes up and down super easy. We also have a 15-pound propane tank. It's set up for a single propane, but you can undo the screws on both sides and put a dual propane tank here. And then we just replaced this actually yesterday morning. But this is our deep cycle battery, and of course it doesn't want to open.
You don't need to show them a battery. Everybody's seen what a battery looks like.
So we have our deep cell or deep cycle battery. And that runs it pretty well. And then the last thing on the tongue here that I'm sure the guy told me when we bought it, but I completely forgot about it and was freaking out when our inverter power outlets were not working at all. But on the front here, we have, if you want to get this down here, so this little area right here, if the bar is out, it means the inverter has tripped in your inverter outlet when you're trying to boondock or live off grid without plugging into power. That is the breaker for that. So as you can see on the front, big old nice tinted window. The bed's actually right there with the shade.
So you got the frameless.
But it's a frameless window.
Sorry about the dirt, guys. There's a reason.
Yeah, the getting here was no spring picnic. So next up is a secondary, I haven't even opened this, but this is a secondary solar power connection.
I didn't even know that was there.
And this can operate a 20 watt extra solar cell that will trickle charge the battery. Now the one downside we have is this is the single storage rack that we have. It goes about 2/3 of the way back, and on the other side is where the water is. for our water heater and freshwater tanks. But it's decent. We have 2 decent sized totes in there.
Yeah, they fit
that
perfect.
fit. And then this is a small window. Again, the bed's over here. You'll see that when you're inside. And we have our awning that goes pretty much the length of the entire setup here. And you can pull it down to have the water drain off of certain corners. You know, so now the water would drain out here, but I'll probably do it the other way, so it's not draining where we're sitting. Next up, we have some heavy-duty stairs. I like these versus the free-floating stairs, especially for us robust gentlemen. Next over is a dual attachment. As you can see, we can put the dog leash on it. And where the paw is, it's actually a bottle cap opener, so you can pop your beers open right there. We've got our handle. This one was starting to rip, so we've got some tape on it.
Duct tape.
It pops up when you're traveling to also keep the door from opening while you're traveling. It pops out. You can actually also pop it this way. It's got a screen door and a little pass-through.
Make this handy for those bugs to keep them out.
And then the secondary door. The biggest thing is this cannot be wide open when you're taking the awning down or you're going to hit it. So you got to be careful.
Oh, and that's new.
Yep, and then this is our window. And when we first got it, it was just tinted. And then we added this magnetic blackout that we can open when we want a little bit of light and then close it. Otherwise, the light would shine right on us in the bedroom.
Watch out for trip hazard.
Oop, trip hazard. Next up, we have our exhausts. So again, you'll see actually an episode will probably come out actually before we do the tour of me doing this.
What did you do to that?
So what this was is when you first got it, it was just this silver thing and the little X. But mud dodgers can get in there, mice can get up in there, and this is the exhaust for your heat. So if something crawls in there and you turn the heat on and it dies, it's stinky.
You can have a fried mouse.
So yeah, so this mesh keeps them from getting in there. Next up, we've got 2 regular outlets. So, you know, we've got them sitting down there. As you move on, you can see these are huge oversized tires. That was one of the other things we got this for, is because this is designed for an off-road rig. So it's got a higher clearance from the ground and fatter tires. And let me tell you, getting here and getting to my uncle's place, we definitely needed those. So next up is the grill. So as you can see, it's a cast iron propane grill. It's good enough to do a couple of burgers. We've done eggs and bacon on here and potatoes.
Yeah, and it hooks up.
Yep, it hooks up with a secondary propane there. So, and it's got this little rack that can come off. So this removes and it gets stored inside. So, woo, and I almost hit my head again.
Yep, low bridge. You got to watch these. A cool trick that we figured out is put pool noodles here.
Yep.
So we forgot to put them out.
We haven't put them out yet. Now, before we move on, we do have dual speakers here. So that'll pump out some wattage. And then we have a short LED strip that does give us some light. We can show you really quick.
Yeah, it's not really a bright light. It's enough to...
So it gives you a little light.
And Dave, what are these command strips right here?
Oh, look at that. So what we have as well is, not that we do it that often, but if we are in the mood to watch a little TV or watch some YouTube videos while we're camping, we actually have a projector that we can hook our phone or our iPhone up, or our computer for that matter. And then we have a white screen that hangs the length of this, and we project from back there, and we can be around a campfire or watch some TV if we want. But again, we don't do it too often. Camping, we usually like to unplug as much as possible. All right, so next up is our back area. So what Mel's pointing at now is a hollow bumper, and that's where we put what's called the Stinky Slinky, which is your black and gray tank wastewater hose that looks like a slinky because it's an accordion, and you can slide it in there to keep it out of the way. And then I added, after seeing some tips and tricks of people losing this, I drilled with because this is metal, so I had a metal drill bit that went down and into the clap, and then we just put some cotter pins, and that stays on there and does not fall off. Next up is our tire, full-size tire. And the cool thing with this, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it without my
you can't open the door.
Yeah.
I have stuff propped against it.
But this can pop out. Oh, I could do it. So it pops out, and then there we go. So now that can go down.
And then that comes up.
Yep, and then this is kind of like a reverse toy hauler. So we still have tie downs to get stuff in there, but this back would actually open upwards to give you kind of a canopy, and then you can look out the back. But yeah, we've got stuff in here, and you'll see when we get in there why we can't do it. It has a backup camera. It's pre-wired for a Furance camera, but this one's a Yakri, which costs about half of the Furance and hooks into a Furance hole, and we haven't had a problem with it. The first camera we had, I take that back. The first camera we had, after 2 months in the Florida heat, went out of focus. And so when I contacted them, they're like, yeah, we've actually been hearing that, so we have an upgraded camera now that replaces it. We'll just send it to you. So they sent me a new camera, and it's been perfect since then.
Yep. Great customer service.
Yep. Now, before we move on, the last thing is this does have a regular coaxial for running cable.
Which I don't think we've used yet.
No. I mean, if you get to a campsite that has cable, then you could do that and then plug your TV in, but that's about it. Next up is our power. So this one works off of a 30 amp cord. And so this is what gives us our power to the rig. This is one of the back windows mirrored on the other side where we have bench seats, which you'll see when we're in there. Next is the fun stinky part, which is your black and gray tank. And yes, the gray handle is the gray tank, which is considered like your shower water, your sink water, that kind of stuff. And then the black tank is the stinky stuff that goes in the toilet. So next up here, this is for our hot water heater setup. Now I have something that will show you guys as well that we recorded that'll pop out, but right down here, this is called a node rod, and it goes in here and attracts the calcium buildup, and it eats the rod instead of eating the inside of your hot water tank. So, but there's some pressure release valves and things like that as well. All right, so the last major thing we have on the exterior, before I try to see on top, is our water tank. So you have two different areas. Top one, fresh fill tank. So this can hold 30 gallons of fresh water. So if you're going to boondock, or as we have found, since we have a portable toilet when we're traveling with it, we usually keep about 1/3 of a tank. That's enough to like wash your hands and do your business on the road. So that's there. And then below it is your regular city water hookup. So you would hook your hose there and then tie into the water post to run your water in. And we always use a filter as well. We have actually two filters, one stage that gets the big metal out if needed, because let's face it, some of these parks aren't maintained as well as they can be. It depends on what state you're in and what funding they get. So we have one stage that takes out the big chunks of anything that might be in there, and then a second sedimentary one that filters it out. So, all right. And so that does it. So now I'm going to take over camera work, and I'm going to let Mel show you what she has done with the inside.
Come on in. All right, you got to back up. All right, so coming in, we obviously have the screen door. We've covered that. We have the bed right here. We first thing we did was replace the mattress, and found out that mattress is a little hard for us, so we get a topper. That's the reason the bed is a little higher than it normally is, but this has saved our life, this topper. And obviously the bed is configured this way. It is a little tight fit, but it is a very comfortable mattress, and Ryan and I's made it work. So we have 3 windows here, and right here is Peachy's favorite spot.
Yep.
When she's not in her bed. And then up here, this is some nice space. The storage in this place is one of the reasons another reason I got it. And I gotta get my step stool. So this goes all the way back here, all the way across. So Ryan and I've made use of these little bins here that we can just slide around. This is usually where we keep our clothes. And then this is a recent thing I added, so I can have a little light in there trying to find stuff. But most of the lights in here are push like this. And then we obviously have 2 USBs right here, which we have used to charge certain things. And then on this side we have 2 regular outlets in the corner here. And hopefully you can see that. There you go. And then Ryan's added a shelf because he needs it for a CPAP.
Yep, and I used alien tape, which is phenomenal stuff.
Right. And then, I don't know if you can turn over here. I have 2 hooks up here. My hats fell off. And then I have this that I also use alien tape. It's just a place to keep my phone, some chargers, stuff I want before I go to bed. Yeah, I could put a book here or whatever. And then more storage right here. We had to bring a lot of long sleeves this time, so we hung up a lot of stuff here. And I usually keep my toiletries here. And then Ryan's got some other stuff here. We put backpacks in here. So this is utilized a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Down here, I usually keep our shoes. I used to keep our hamper down here. I can't open it all the way though. This is also where we keep our projectors. So stuff that I don't use all the time or shoes I put down here. And it goes all the way back. It's pretty far and deep. All right, moving on to the hallway. This is actually a portable radio. It's actually a flashlight too. I think that's it. That does,
yeah.
Right? So this is great. We can take it outside. That keeps falling off. This is our heater that we've been using a lot lately because it's kind of cold here. And this is our... Oh, and right here is the tire... what is this called, babe?
That's the tire link. So it's a repeater that if you have a wireless hookup for outside to check your tire pressure and your tire temperature, it then projects to the front and gets picked up by your receiver in the vehicle.
Right. And this is the OC reader, is that what correct? Or
Carbon monoxide.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. The carbon monoxide reader. So this is going to probably be standard in most little RVs.
Yep.
The bathroom is not big, but it's not a wet bath. So we have, obviously, our shower. We kind of put our laundry in here because we don't shower in here because our tanks are kind of small. So we could potentially take a shower, like 1 or 2 showers, and it's done.
So it's very small. It's what you do, what they call military shower. So you turn it on, you get wet, turn it off, lather up, turn it off, rinse off.
Yeah.
Turn it
so
off.
This is just a shower and a toilet. Ryan and I added these hooks and
alien
towel.
tape.
Yep. And obviously there's no sink, but the sink is literally right behind us. All right, we're gonna back up to the front entry right here because we're gonna cover a few things. This is the button to turn on the inverter. So this plug down here, one of these, this one. This plug is specific to the inverter.
And for the record, what that is that would run off the battery. So we have solar panels on the roof, which unfortunately we didn't show you guys, but
in and out awning, and I just brought it in really quick because the wind has been picking up. We've been getting some strong gusts, so never leave your awning out when you know it's going to be windy, because you have a potential of losing your awning, and then you have a very expensive repair.
yeah.
This light here is the one for the outside, this blue. And then this one actually is the overhead that's over this way.
And that connects just those 3 lights, but once it's on, you can still turn individual. No, this one's still manual.
Oh, okay, sorry. 3 lights, and Ryan's correct.
So the 3 lights, and then once they're on, you can still technically turn them off manually as needed.
Okay. So a couple other things I added. There's a fire extinguisher as soon as we walk in that came with the rig. I added this because when we get to a site, especially in Florida, I have my bug thing because
Flash water.
bugs do fly in here. Even the quickest you can shut these doors. I have kept a flashlight here because
one of many.
Yes. So this is just like quick grab stuff. And over here, I added this, which is a motion sensor. So when we first open this door, we have light as soon as we come in. And it's also helps for Peachy, because Peachy does wandering around in the dark sometimes. This I added for just quick place to put some flip-flops. These are kind of our shower shoes usually.
And then one thing we neglected to show is this actually opens up.
And you can access your, if you will, basement.
Your basement, the outside area we saw, you can access it from in here, which you need when you're working on the water on the other side.
All right, a couple more things. I added this because I don't like things cluttered on the counter, and we have a little counter. So this is kind of our drop zone. So I'll put coffee here, cups here, keys, glasses, just stuff to get it off the way. And then Ryan and I actually added these hooks.
Yeah.
So I can...
Keychains, Peach's leash.
Yeah. So this is a great place. Coffee pot sits perfectly here. I got a rubber mat for our soaps. We have a round sink. The only thing I'm missing is a sprayer. I go here and want to pull my sprayer out so many times. So this... depending how long we keep this rig, this might be replaced at one point.
And we'll bring that to you if we do replace it.
I'll start from the top and come down. So we have these 2 cable hooks up, so you can, if you do your TV, this is where you can potentially plug it in.
Yeah.
There's actually something back here that says pre-wired for Wi-Fi, this King thing, but...
It's a King thing if you get a King branded Wi-Fi, but we actually have a Starlink that we just got.
All right, so, radio here, sorry. We have 2 separate radios. So you can have speakers inside and speakers outside, and this is separate from the thing I showed you earlier from the portable speaker.
Yep, and it also has an HDMI connection as well if you want to pipe your audio from your TV or something like that.
Sorry, I have to open up slowly. Some things fell over. This is where I kind of keep my bug spray, my duct tape, some chemicals and stuff. But I got it in this tote, so it's kind of neatly packed.
Yep.
Because behind it is our solar charge controller. So we can check that.
Yep, and we can see right now, even with it getting, we're in the trees and it's getting dark, it's still pulling 13.7 volts to charge the batteries.
So this is, I mean, this is ideal for my bug spray, my sprayer. You might want to go, I got sunscreen here. We might want to go through this and organize it because we just got everything in here right now. Because we're still trying to figure out things that we need.
Yep.
And we had to add these latches because we've had these doors open up a couple times. And
they're just baby latches.
They're just baby latches.
Got them on Amazon for like 10 or so for a couple of bucks.
Yeah. All right, so the microwave, it's great. We don't use it too much, but it is a small microwave. I can't remember if it's, I don't think it's convection.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so it's just a regular microwave.
Yep, and it's less wattage than a residential one. So if it says, you know, put it in for 5 minutes, we usually have to put it in for 6 or 7 minutes.
Right. I added this. This is my paper towel holder, just somewhere quick.
What did you use to hang it, honey?
Alien tape. Also, we have a 2-burner propane stove right here, but we do like to cook outside on the grill that Ryan had. we'll only cook on here if it's like the morning that we're leaving, so we don't, you know, dirty the grill. And then storage down here, like I said, there's storage.
Yeah.
This is a lot of, I keep like bowls, plates, my silverwares, and I have this in a little thing like this, so if I wanted to take it straight outside, it's got all my stuff. Oh, I do have extra plates in the back. I didn't see those. Yeah. And then I got some pans. And then before we get too far in the storage, this right here is actually where the furnace is and where the heat comes out. And this sucker, when it's on, it will make it nice and toasty and warm in here. It's great. All right, this opens up to the underneath the sink. I have a little caddy here. I keep some of my soaps, and this is my toilet cleaner. That when we empty out our black tank, we put this in the toilet, and just keeps the toilet smelling good.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly.
you can imagine what's in there. So it keeps it smelling good, and it's got some chemicals built in that breaks down solid waste into liquid waste.
Baby wipes, because you never know when you need baby wipes, especially when I don't have access to a shower sometime. This we actually probably need to replace it. Yeah. But when we store our rig for a little bit, moisture is one of your number one enemies for an RV. So we do this, we replace it so often. This one, which probably needs to get replaced now. And then more stuff. Stackable bowls are your friend because they take up less space. And that's pretty much it under there, actually. This is actually dead space right here.
Underneath that, Yep.
This is cool. Because keep in mind, this is a lightweight trailer, so they have these trays where you can completely take these trays out. So this is where I keep my silverware. And we discovered we need to get a baby latch because our knives came straight out and all over the floor. On
rough roads, especially when we were off-roading, getting to my aunt and uncle's place, it was interesting.
This has been a godsend too. When you need to do a quick pick them up, I like to keep the trailer somewhat clean. More storage. Okay, so this is our pantry. It's not very wide, but it's very deep. So you can see, I can stick my hand all the way back here and still on my tippy toes. So this is great because I got little bins, so things could just sit in bins and they're not scattered everywhere. So this helps us keep organized. These were $1 tray for $1. I mean, they're simple. Hamburger buns, we're gonna have hamburgers tonight, so I'll take those out. Oh, maybe that. So you can see all kinds of little storage. And then this is my cute little broom. Sometimes I can't get the vacuum to work, so this helps out the dustpan and broom. And then I have an extra pop-up just in case we need like extra garbage or something. I'll stick a trash bag in here, but this is a pop-up hamper basically, or a pop-up trash can. And then this, it's nice because there is a second sleeping place in here, and we'll show you that in a second. This is where you can store that extra sleeping space. It's nice that they give you a spot, a dedicated spot, so it does not take up anywhere else in this area. And then this area down here is where I keep the trash. So I'll keep trash, extra bags, and sometimes I keep my toilet cleaners back here. And this is a portable sink in case we're really remote. I'll have a portable sink. And then while I'm down here, this here is where you will see your fuses. And I gotta move Peachy's little bowls out of the way. So if you have something that's not obviously working, you need to check these, make sure they're not tripped. And then here's your fuses and everything, but Ryan could probably tell you a little bit more than that because that's his department.
Yeah, the good thing is the ones on the right, if a fuse blows, you'll see a bright red light that indicates the fuse is blown. The ones on the left, though, are like your normal breakers at home. That's what we missed last weekend when we were at Silver Lake, is one of those tripped and was causing issues.
All right, and this is also where I keep Peachy's nightlight so she can see her water in the night.
Yep, and that's one of the GFIC. That's actually the only one. So if anything trips in here, outlet wise, this is the one and only GFC that you would come to hit to replace it.
All right, this fridge. Oh, before we go in the fridge. So we're going to be turning this on later tonight because this keeps your tanks from freezing, which we're expected to be freezing tonight. So this is your tank heater. And this is your heat pump. Since we're not connected to water, we have this on right now so we can utilize the water in our fresh water tank. And then this is when you want hot water. You have to turn this on. The only drawback is you gotta wait maybe 20 minutes or so for it to heat up. So if you want to take a shower, you need to turn this on at least 20 or 30 minutes before.
Because it's fed by propane, so yeah, it's got to heat it up.
This is where basically your control panel. This shows our battery is full, which is awesome since we just spent a lot of money fixing it.
Yeah.
This next one is your fresh, and
that's full because I filled it up. Since we knew it was going to be cold, we didn't want to keep hoses out there.
This is black. We just emptied it this morning, so it's empty, which is awesome. This is probably
should be empty as well because we emptied that as well. Yeah,
because I did wash some dishes today.
Yeah.
All right, so next we're going to look at the fridge. This is actually a decent sized fridge. This is the freezer. Going to open, and again, we had to use latches because this has opened, and we've had ice everywhere. So we actually haven't cooked yet on this crib because we've had families been cooking for us. So this is, I know it looks like it's defrosted. It's just because we had a problem with the battery.
Yep, and so it wasn't charging.
Yep.
And so
it's a nice little size. And then I gotta open this. Gotta open it slow. Okay. Sorry, the fridge is very packed because we were eating for a good several days here. This is our snackle box that we use. I got some apples, some cheese, Peach's dinner. She's probably gonna want. Let's get it out so we can feed her. Apples, eggs. This is our Brita because we like to obviously drink lots of water, and this
good investment for us.
This helps filter it a little bit. I keep this napkin here because this, sometimes when we're filling, I'll fill it up right here, but I need to replace it. I'm going to pull out drawer, and obviously this is all here. So put this back up.
It's actually a pretty decent size fridge for this size rig.
Right. Did you? Let's see.
Yeah. And then this.
Which probably make it colder.
Well, yeah, to the right is colder. So.
Oh, okay.
And you have two different settings. So all the way to the right gets to where you're on shore power, but to conserve energy, there's the off-grid area.
Right.
So you would keep it on that, and it sticks within the available power when you're boondocking to not drain as much.
All right, we're gonna flip around here. Oh, one more thing, AC. So this AC is, I mean, it's super strong, but you have the option to do high cool, low cool, off, and this sucker is great. And this small rig, you only have one. So when we shoot this out, I mean, it goes straight over here and you're freezing. Just make sure you do take these out. There's filters in here that you're supposed to clean so often. We probably are due, but...
Probably do, but not just yet.
We haven't been running it. It's cold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be it's going to feel like 14 tonight. So,
yeah.
Okay, we flipped around. So this is where we can make a bed. To be honest, you probably could fit an adult here. It is a decent size, but honestly, I don't know how comfortable it'll be. So you could probably put these out because the idea is to get those slats that are in here, lay them across, and then you have these cushions, and you're basically sleeping on these cushions. So I think if you put the cushions down and maybe, I don't know, like a egg crate or something, it might make it a little bit more comfortable. So this probably is an idea for kids, definitely, adults maybe. But as you can see, this is somebody else's spot. She's like, what are you talking about? This is my spot.
This is my area, Mom.
We have two tie downs down here. One here and one here. I got it covered by the rug. But this is where we typically put our kayaks or bikes and whatever. One other thing here, I'll show you one side. All right, so that was easy. We took the cushions off. This is just a piece of plywood, basically. This is a lightweight trailer, so all the material is light. And then you have one here, and on the other side you have the exact same storage. We usually keep our tables in here. These are portable tables. We have 2 of them that came with the rig, so we can take them outside. We can set them up here. So we keep lots of things in here. So I'm gonna put this back together, and then I'm gonna show you the overhead storage here real quick. All right, after I put that back together, we're gonna start with the storage up here real quick. I've dedicated this to Ryan because this is where he can keep all his wires and crap and yeah.
Wow, people, you hear that? Wires and crap.
He has all this electronics he brings, and I was like, well, you can't just cover all my pretty benches. You gotta put it somewhere. So I gave him a whole storage cabinet for himself. We made one modification, and I'll show you. I know this is gonna be controversial, but on the side here, we actually drilled a hole. Don't know if you can see it, but we drilled a hole so he could use this plug here, right here, to have a charging station up here. And when we do charge stuff, we do leave this open so we can ventilate it, because you don't want to get too hot in here.
And I do have a video showing how I did that. It was really simple, actually.
All right, I think the last thing I want to show you is, yes, the last thing.
Yep, dual storage, so just so you guys know.
Yes, both sides.
The exact same storage on the other side.
Yes.
With an outlet.
This is the hatch. It flips up like this. And when you do have it up, you can have your screen here. There is a cover that kind of buttons up. I got it open so we can have a lot of light in here. We really don't have any neighbors, so I might just leave this open. And then right here, obviously we've got all our space because we bring our air fryer with us. It's easier because we don't have an oven. And then we obviously have a lot of bags because we got to bring all the camera equipment. So, and then Peachy has her bed, and we have her dedicated water. And she's like, I'm ready for my dinner. And she says, it's the allergies here, Dad, or you're just making my eyes water. But this is, again, a 2021 rig. It's 22 feet long. I don't know if we mentioned that. It is 4,500 pounds or 4,000. 4,000
max weight.
So this is a very lightweight trailer. So if you want something you can pull with maybe an SUV, this would be an idea because we have pulled it with an SUV. But honestly, half-ton truck is probably the bare minimum that you need to do.
Yeah, would be better. It can be pulled, but you're putting a lot of wear and tear, and you can feel it when cars go by you when we had the Telluride, for sure.
So this is a very lightweight trailer. When you do put some weight back here, you do feel it, like when we put our bikes back here or kayaks, because it's on the back end of the weight, we can feel it. So, but this is our trailer. We like it because it's nice and light and bright.
It's nice.
And
that does it. So thanks for watching. Hopefully, if you're interested in the KZ, it's definitely a cool trailer. Again, I guess we didn't open the back, but you can imagine the hatch opens is really.
Honestly, I was trying to make it clean in here, and I didn't think about it. I was trying to organize our table, and I got it leaning against the door, and I think you'll fall.
Yeah, and then some of the windows do open on left and right. They do open, so you can.
Egress windows are on your left side, I guess.
Yeah.
So you have one here. This is your egress window, meaning this is your escape window if you ever have to have an emergency. And the one by the front bed on the same side is also your escape window.
Yep. Over there, it's covered up.
I have it closed because when you try to get those blinds, it gets caught up in it. But I think that's it. Oh, we have our skylights right here. Yeah. There's one there.
So another skylight.
And there's one in the bathroom here. So you just unscrew it and you can get some fresh air in here, but I don't want any more fresh air. It's kind of cold.
All right. And then last but not least, to roll it out, we do have a brand new Starlink Mini. So there you go. And we've got some trees around us, as you can see, but there is some opening and we've got good signal. The other thing that we've noticed with the Starlink Mini, that we tested on the way up here is this one is designed for in motion as well. So if you've got a cigarette 12 volt that you can plug into your car, or we actually have outlets in the truck. I have some suction cups that I'll list below as well, and this goes right on our moonroof. There are other ones that could mount outside your car, but I'm keeping mine inside. But we were still pulling 90 megabytes per second download speed, going 70 on the high, well, 65 when we have the trailer, but we were going 65 on the highway, getting perfect signal to be able to browse and work when you're on the road.
All right. Some last minute things for our setup outside that I'm just going to throw in here real quick.
Okay.
Our chairs, we did spend some money on these, but to be honest, these are very comfortable and very nice 0G gravity chairs. And we have 2 of them. It comes with the little tables. It even has a little place to put your phone, which is kind of cool. And our last thing is our table.
Yep. Go Bucks.
Yeah. So if we didn't feel like bringing out our, big tables, we could put this inside and use this. You could play cards on it. You put your drinks on it. Peachy likes to sit under here sometimes.
Yeah, because her bed is around the same side, so she uses that as an extension.
Yeah. Even though this is her bed, or her outside chair.
Her outside chair. But as you can see, it's the same height. So
yeah,
she will use the bottom of the Bucks fold-up table.
And I like this because this is washable, which when she gets dirty, she gets dirty. But yeah, that's our setup.
And then I guess that's pretty much it. The last thing we have is a tabletop, because there are some campgrounds that will not let you have an in-ground fire, and you have to have a raised fire. So this has a little fireproof mat that I got, and this is the 18-inch, so it can put out some decent heat. It's basically like a solo stove. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video on our RV. We hope it was helpful. If you're thinking about getting an RV, this is a great first time RV. We have actually learned a lot just having this, and you don't have to go big. Especially in their first one, it could be a little intimidating.
Yep. But that pulls it here. So thanks for watching. And if you're looking to help the channel continue to grow, then consider becoming a member. Take a look below and you can see what options we have. As always, it only takes a second to hit that like and subscribe, and we definitely do appreciate it. We'll see you next time on
The Scenic Route.
Later, everyone.